Hey, my dear audience, this is a special episode of my journey in the US, and it's also the only US story I've written for the podcast right after I got back. Some months ago, I said I might create another podcast sharing my US stories, but recently I'm not sure if I will do it. So I decided to read out loud this story at this moment, in case there's no chance to do so in the future. Hi, my name is Jessie Chen. I'm the holder of this diary. Call it When Traveling. Can you believe there is so much coincidence in the world? Oh no, what I learned is sometimes you need to make some coincidences yourself. May 17, 2022, at Samsung Hollywood Hostel, LA, California. I feel like that was the boldest thing I've ever done in my life. Just an hour before I wrote down this in my journal, I struck up a conversation with an attractive guy on the exact day I met him. Well, you probably know from day 28 that I had done a similar thing when traveling in Slovakia. But for me, this was different, not only because I didn't do it after drinking a 75% shot, but also because there was so much coincidence this time that I feel like the whole world was helping me. He's German, 27 years old, just got his master's degree and started traveling from Canada and then the US for 2 months. I met him in the hostel at night. Well, to be accurate, it was in the afternoon, when my friend and I were resting in the lounge after getting back from Universal Studio. Honestly, he had caught my eyes when he and his friend walked over. He's tall, he wore a cap, he dressed in black and white, his casual style is what I like, and his mysterious appearance is what I admire. But soon, my friend and I went out. At the moment, I was just thinking, will I see him again when I get back? And that's all. This small thought was just put aside. What happened thereafter was a series of natural and artificial coincidences. When I got back from downtown and walked to the hostel, in a 5 meters distance, I saw him standing outside, facing Hollywood Boulevard and smoking. And I was like, oh, no way, that's not true. My unintentional thinking comes true magically. The hostel was on my left and he was on my right. When I walked closer, I looked to the right deliberately. Yep, I could just go straight to the direction of the hostel, but even if it's just a little chance, I should seize, right? I was hoping he would do the same thing, then we could see each other. And well, guess what? A surprising thing happened the next second. He did look at me and we had eye contact. He smiled slightly and I smiled back and went inside. While walking to my room and preparing going to take a shower, suddenly there was a thought hitting my mind. Wait, I shouldn't just go to shower and sleep like this. I must make some chances to talk to him since the magic coincidence had happened. So I decided to hang around the kitchen, washing my hands, filling my water bottle, well, in short, just doing some meaningless things, hoping he would come back to the lounge after finishing his cigarette. And what happened thereafter really made me feel like I was the luckiest person on that day. When I walked out of the kitchen and looked into the lounge, I found him standing around the pool table there. But what was pitiful was he didn't notice me because he was facing the other side. And I was like, well, even so, I can't just leave. So I decided to walk to the pantry, which was close to the lounge, and again, doing some trivial things. 30 seconds later, I walked out from the pantry, but unfortunately, he still turned his back on me. Well, there must be a chance as long as I stay long enough, right? I then pretended to use my phone. 10 seconds later, as expected, he noticed me. But what I didn't expect was he came over and sat at a table just one step in front of me. It seemed to be a good sign, right? But he didn't come to talk to me. He's just sitting there. Maybe I should just leave, I thought. But he did come over. If he doesn't have the same thought, then why did he come and sit here? he could just pick a seat closer to him, not bother to choose the one closer to me. The angel and the devil were fighting on my shoulders. So what am I supposed to do now? Should I just sit down too? But what should I do afterwards? Whatever, sit down first. I was sick of my overthinking tendency. After about 15 seconds of hesitation, I sat down. In the following 3 minutes, I realized how impatient I was. I just couldn't pretend to be busy on my phone anymore. I put it down and thinking, if there's no chance to break the silence in the following 3 minutes, I will just go. I was waiting and the boredom was gradually rising, but soon I got my luck back. His friend looked up from his phone and I was looking at his friend for 3 seconds and finally said, "You guys come from where?" "Excuse me, what did you say?" The attractive guy said with a slight smile, and that's how we started to talk. It turned out both of them are German. One of them is 22 and the attractive guy is 27. They met in San Francisco a few days ago when my friend and I were also traveling there, and they decided to travel together. And the most coincidental thing was they were gonna leave for Vegas the next day and visit the Great Canyon too. Therefore, I proposed that they could join us since we had rented a car. But my proposal was sadly turned down, because they had booked 2 nights in Vegas and soon they would leave for Costa Rica. As to our plan, we didn't plan to stay in Vegas. Instead, we would drive to the Great Canyon directly and then fly to New York. The conversation didn't go long. A few minutes later, he went back to the pull-up competition, and I went back to my room. The end came so fast that I didn't even ask his name. He then became my missed connection. Though the result was kind of unfortunate for me, at least my curiosity about him was satisfied, right? How about him? The result was unfortunate for him. Well, though he said maybe we'll see in Vegas when he walked back to the pool table. He didn't even ask my contact. So I think I could draw the conclusion from the classic movie. He's just not that into you. Written by Jessie Chan. Thanks for your reading.